In this demonstration, what I'd like to do is to show you how you can take and save all of the files that you've created as an Adobe Acrobat PDF file. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here and just say Save as PDF. Right here, a little icon pops up. And when you do that, you'll notice that it automatically, because I was in the residential purchase agreement, it automatically check that one, and that's where it got that check mark from. Some people ask me that question. In our particular case, though, what we're going to want to do is select all of the documents. So select all. You'll see there's a check mark next to each one of the documents. Also, on the right-hand side, you're going to see a list of all the files. Now, remember that when you're organizing these files, we're going to have it as one large PDF file, but we want to have it in such a way that the order of the forms in the file are in the order that you would normally show them to your client. So for example, we would not want to have things like the residential listing agreement and then the buyer's estimated sales. We would want to have them so that the seller's stuff's together and the buyer's stuff's together. So what I'm going to do is, and I can also organize these just by dragging and dropping them. So if I want to move any of these around, I just drag them up, drop them, bring them back, drag them up, and drop them. This will list all the files that I have right here. Okay? So then the next thing I want to do is say how I want to save the file. Now this becomes very, 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 very important, because if you save them as separate files, at least for our purposes, you're going to end up with a whole bunch of files on your computer, and you're going to have to upload them to the Google Drive, and it's just going to be kind of a mess. So the easiest way to do this is just say save it, instead of selected file, save it as one large PDF. Okay, now at that point you have two choices you can do. You can either save the file to the transaction, which means it's going to be another file located right here, or you can save it to your computer. And for our purposes, we are going to want to save it to the computer, but I would probably also recommend that you may want to save it as a file to your and put it over here if you want to, but it's very easy to go back and open this up and save the PDF files if you have to. So I'm going to go ahead and say save to the computer, and you'll see the thing whirl around a little bit, and then depending upon what operating system you're running on, it's going to look a little bit different than this. I'm going to move this box down here a little bit so we can see what's going to happen here. This little thing right here is just something that we're getting from Firefox. So if we needed this essentially sort of like a plug-in, if you will, or something we could work with Firefox, I'm just going to kind of close this. I'm going to bring this back over here, and what it's going to do is it's going to be called Jones Documents PDF. It's going to save the files in Adobe Acrobat file, or when it opens, I'm going to say save the file, say OK. And what it's going to do by default is it's going to put it in your download area, where you download all of your files to on your computer. And if you're not sure where that is, I'll just show you where downloads are located. I'm going to open up my if you will, my file manager. In Microsoft, they call it an Explorer, not Internet Explorer, but Explorer. And then I go to Downloads. Okay, and if we look very carefully, here's where our Jones PDF document is located, right here. I'm going to go ahead and double click on it. And if I move it over here so we can all sort of see it, I'm going to size it so that you can see it here, and move it up so it'll fit a little bit better. And as we go down here, you'll see that what's happening is first is my cover sheet. Okay, all the cover sheet information. Going down here, we have our California Residential Purchase Agreement Joint Escrow Instructions. And as we go down, we can see all of the files. I'm going to sort of shrink this down a little bit here so we can see them on the screen. Okay. And we'll see we have all the files here. So in the class, you're going to be uploading this as one document to the Google Drive. And remember, these had to be perfect. There should be no errors. And you're going to upload it to the file folder that is the zip forms for the project to the Google Drive. And then you're also going to be showing these forms during your presentation in the class, showing that you went through these, and we'll be picking some of the forms out that you'll be explaining to the class how this works. So with that, I wanted to give you an idea on how you would save this as one document, being able to present it not only to the class but also to your clients. Sometimes agents will, for example, maybe if you're working with some clients where you're going to want them to go over the paperwork, you may fill all this out, then print it out and then give it to them that they're going to read it over. Maybe they're the type of client that needs a day or two to read everything over. There's a lot of reasons to print them, including the fact if you just want to print a blank form. You know, depending upon the situation, the client, we would love to have everybody do everything electronically, but there are times when you have to print them out so you can go over them with the client. And so with that, sort of winds up the round trip as far as creating the forms, filling them out, saving them as a PDF, and then again, you know you're going to follow the same process to upload them to the Google Drive as you did for the Placer title property profiles.